Hello viewers, there are two important objectives in producing this documentary film. The first one is to remind the forgotten glorious past of the Kakatiyas, and the second one is to carry this glorious past to the future generations. Shatavahana and Vijayanagara kingdoms were born and spread outside the Telugu land. There the Kakatiya empire was the only empire formed for the Telugu people by Telugu kings and emperors according to historians. Kakatiyas were front runners in the field of administration and warfield strategies. They have become a source of great inspiration even for the contemporary generation. Kakatiya kings were great warriors. They always led from the front of the war and laid their lives for the sake of the people. It is our minimum courtesy and responsibility to know about the people who founded and ruled Kakatiya Empire with a lot of awareness in terms of social welfare and the hair-raising heroic fights of the Kakatiyas. It was an age of valiance or valiant warriors. It was an age of great sculpture and culture. Come, let us follow the pathways which lead to the stupendous monuments and introduce ourselves to the impregnable historical achievements of Kakatiyas.
The first generation of Kakatiyas made Hanamkonda as their capital according to a book called Siddheshwara Charitra. The Hanamkonda fort was surrounded by 3 hills. Further, this fort was surrounded by Bhadrakali tank on one side and Balasamudram tank on the other side, and Padmakshi pond at the center, and Siddheshwara Alaya on the east, and Nishada Rudreshwara Alaya and Venugopala Alaya on the west. We can see only the mud fort and the rock fort ruins of the capital as sentinels of Kakatiya kingdom. At first, Kakatiyas were vassals of Rashtrakutas and Western Chalukyas and became independent or sovereign kings during the reign of Kakatiya Rudradeva. We can see the inscription of Rashtrakuta king Amogavarsha at Kazipet in Warangal city. Kakatiyas were not migrators, they hail from a place near Orugallu. According to Huyan Sang, a traveler, the Kakatiya Empire existed prior to 8th century. This was mentioned in his chronicles. The earliest information on Kakatiyas was first found in the Mangallu inscription issued by a king of Western Chalukya called Danarnavadu in 956 AD. Later on, the Kakatiya tree of dynasty in a chronological order was found in Bayaram inscription issued by Mailama, sister of Ganapati Deva. This is the only authentic inscription on the dynasty of Kakatiyas. It was inscribed in 1220 AD. Historians came to know about this inscription in 1966 when they discovered it. This is the greatest and important inscription in the history of Kakatiya dynasty. It described the 14 generations of Kakatiyas. Family tree of Kakatiyas. Kakatiyas ruled for a period of 575 years, that is from 750 AD to 1325 AD. The empire of Kakatiya spread from Malyavanta in the north and Kanchi in the south, and from Kalyani in the west to Bay of Bengal in the east as the boundaries. Of all the Kakatiya kings, Rudradeva, Maharajadeva, Ganapati Deva and Rudramadevi and Prataparudra were sovereign emperors. Now let's know about the kings one by one. Kakati Vennaya. Kakati Vennaya was the founder king of Kakatiya dynasty. He made Kakatipura as his capital and ruled his kingdom. Now we have reached a historical village near Warangal called Kakkiralapalli. According to historians, Kakati Vennaya, founder of Kakatiya dynasty, established his capital during 8th century AD. The ruins of Kakatipura are found in between the villages of Kakkiralapalli, Katriyala and Pantini. The inscriptions laid by Kakatiyas from the beginning of their rule have been found in 88 villages in Warangal. All these inscriptions paved the way for a serious research, and this research became as an evidence that the capital was between Kakkiralapalli and Pantani. Another evidence for the existence of the capital is that many wars were fought in a village called Labarthi near Kakatipura. We can also see the traces of mud wall, prehistoric graveyard and human habitation. Ever since Hanamkonda had been made the capital of Kakatiyas, Kakatipura had lost its significance with the ruined temples. A Kakatiya king called Venna Nupala ruled this area during 750 to 768 AD. This is the historical Gudur inscription. It was built on December 24, 1124 AD, on Wednesday by Chalukya Ganga Kumara Permudi Someshwara. According to this inscription, Vennaya was the founder of Kakatiya dynasty. Gundaya I ruled from 768 to 824 AD. His son Gundaya II ruled from 824 to 870 AD. No more information is available about these three kings so far. Gundaya III ruled from 870 to 895 AD. The great-grandson of Vennaya, Gundaya III of the 4th generation, had become more famous army leaders among Rashtrakutas. According to Danarnava's Mangallu inscription, Gundaya III led the Rashtrakuta army and fought with Chalukya Bhima's armies and attained martyrdom. Erraya Nayaka, he ruled from 895 to 940 AD. According to Bayaram inscription, Erraya Nayaka ascended the throne after Gundaya III. He was the ruler of Korivisima. The king of Rashtrakuta, Kannara Ballaha, handed over Korivisima kingdom to Erraya Nayaka for defeating Chalukya Bhima. Betiya Raja ruled from 940 to 950 AD. His name was on the inscription of Mangallu by Danarnava. Pindigundana was the son of Betiya Raja. He was also known as Gundaya IV. He ruled from 950 to 995 AD. Gundana IV made Danarnava the king of Vengi on the wish of Rashtrakuta king Krishna II. Pindigundana ruled Korivisima as an independent by driving away Mudigonda Chalukyas. Garuda Betaraja. He was the first Betaraja who ruled from 995 to 1051 AD. After the decline of Rashtrakuta kingdom, Tailapa II founded Western Chalukya kingdom. According to Gudur inscription, Kamasanamma, sister of Gundana IV, nurtured her nephew Betana and continued Kakatiya rule from Korivisima to Hanamkonda by maintaining diplomatic relations with Western Chalukyas. Garuda Betana, with the help of Shurana of Viriyala dynasty, killed Kadiyanayaka, the ruler of Velpugonda, and made this place as the capital of Kakatiya kingdom. Now this place is known as Jafargarh, which is 20 miles away from Warangal. Later on, Garuda Betana, with the help of Tailapa, got Hanamkonda as a gift and shifted his capital to Hanamkonda and made Velpugonda as his military or army base and continued as a vassal of Western Chalukyas. According to Shanigaram inscription in Karimnagar district, Bedaraja once started his political life in his childhood. This inscription was laid by him in 1051 AD. Prolaraja I. Prolaraja I was the son of Bethraja I and ascended the throne after his father and ruled from 1052 AD to 1076 AD. During his father's reign, Prolaraja fought many wars and he was victorious. According to Kazipet Dargah inscription, Prolaraja I got Hanamkonda as a gift from Western Chalukyas during the tenure of Trailoka Malladeva. Prolaraja I was honored with the title Arigaja Kesari. Arigaja Kesari means that Prolaraja I was like a lion to the opposite armies consisting of elephant-like warriors. There is a lake in Kesamudram which was popularly known as Arikesari Samudra, built during the reign of Prolaraja I. It is the oldest lake by Kakatiyas. Prolaraja I defeated Vemlavada Chalukyas and annexed a place called Sabbinadu to Kakatiya kingdom. Prolaraja I died in 1078 AD. Betharaja II. After the death of Prolaraja I, Betharaja II came to power. Betharaja II was also known as Tribhuvana Malla. According to an inscription at Kumarpalli in Hanamkonda, Betharaja II ruled from 1076 to 1108 AD. This inscription was laid in 1079 AD. Further, this inscription describes that the 6th Chalukyan king Vikramaditya honored Betharaja II by giving the title Vikramachakri. Betharaja II constructed a temple called Proleshwara Alayam in memory of his father. This temple area is beside Kumarpalli inscription and the area these days is known as Gudibandalu. Betharaja II founded a village called Shivapuram and constructed a temple called Beteshwara on his name. This village Shivapuram nowadays is known as Dargah Kazipet. Durgaraja. Durgaraja was the eldest son of Betharaja II and he ruled from 1108 to 1116 AD. The Dargah Kazipet inscription is the only evidence of Durgaraja's rule. Carelessness of Durgaraja about the welfare of the kingdom, his brother Prolaraja II ascended the throne. According to the Kakatiya military commander Vema Bollaya in the Matedu inscription, Prolaraja II suppressed the opposition of Durgaraja's descendants in the shift of power. Prolaraja II came to power in 1116 AD and ruled up to 1157 AD after Durgaraja. It was during the reign of Prolaraja II that the Kakatiya kingdom flourished in every field with the experience of an able minister, Vaijadandanada. The achievements and successes of Prolaraja II were given in the Hanamkonda inscription by Rudradeva in 1163 AD. After the death of Kalyani Chalukya Vikramaditya, Prolaraja II exploited the situation and invaded the surrounding states and annexed them to Kakatiya kingdom. Prolaraja II invaded Kondapalli near Vijayawada. He took Mantani Gandaraja, who revolted against Chalukya Emperor Immadi Jagadekamallu to custody in the presence of Jagadekamallu. Another king called Edaraja, who came with Gandaraja, was frightened and fled from the war field. In 1136 AD, Prolaraja II accepted Pangallu from Govindaraja and gave it to Udayachoda, son of Gokarna, and restored him to power. Prolaraja II was well known for his interest and responsibility as far as public well-being is concerned. Many canals, wells, and lakes were built during his reign. He was honored with a title called Daridra Vidravana. It was during the reign of Prolaraja II that the Kakatiyas converted to Shaivism from Jainism. The traces of Jainism are still found on the Hanamkonda hills. Even today, we can see the statue of Aggalaya, a famous doctor. People used to come to him for treatment even from hundreds of miles in those days. This beautifully carved statue can be seen from some miles. The first inscription of Krolraja II can be seen in front of the Padmakshi temple in Hanamkonda fort. This inscription belongs to 1117 AD. Krolraja II laid the foundation of Warangal fort by building Swayambhu Devalaya in Ekashila Nagar. This was mentioned in Chintaluru inscription in 1264 AD. Krolraja II became a martyr while fighting against Velnad Chalukyas according to Draksharama inscription. Rudradeva was the eldest son of Krolraja II. He came to power in 1158 AD and ruled up to 1195 AD. Rudradeva was a great warrior. He was popularly known as Prataparudra I. Rudradeva became a sovereign emperor by inflicting defeats on Cholas and third Bhimachoda of Chalukyas. Rudradeva was well known for his statesmanship, intelligence, and administrative abilities. The Hanamkonda inscription of 1163 AD stands as a sentinel for him. The achievements of Rudradeva were mentioned in the 1,000-pillar temple. Rudradeva was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. The world-famous 1,000-pillar temple is an evidence for his devotion to Lord Shiva. Now let us know about the war achievements of Rudradeva by watching the epitome of sculptural beauty of 1,000-pillar temple. At the time of ascending the throne, Rudradeva had to protect himself while the Kalyani kingdom was on the decline. There was 3 kings on 3 sides waiting for an opportunity to capture the throne of Kakatiyas. Kalachuri Bijjala on one side, Tailapa with his bodyguards without power in the forest, and third Bhimachoda who was supporting Tailapa on the other side. Kalachuri Bijjala instigated the old rival of Kakatiyas, namely Medaraja of Palavasa and Domaraja of Nagnuru, and provoked them to attack Warangal fort from the northern side. On the other side, Kalachuri Bijjala had sent his son Mailagi with his battalions to attack from the southern side. Rudradeva sensed the danger of this dual attack and divided his armies into 2 parts and sent one part to face Mailagi and led the other part himself. Rudradeva bravely fought with the armies of Meda and Domarajas at Nagnuru near Karimnagar. In this war, Rudradeva killed Domaraja and his son Jagadeva. Medaraja fought with Rudradeva and lost everything and ran away to Jannaram forest in Adilabad. Mailagi came to know about the fate of Meda and Domarajas and fled towards Kalyani, unable to face Rudradeva's armies. Now it is the turn of Bhimachoda III. Bhimachoda ruled Pangallu and Vardhamanapura. Bhimachoda was a cruel man. He didn't even spare his own brother. He never cared for his sins. He had no conscience. In order to defeat Rudradeva, Bhimachoda conspired with the powerless Tailapa and changed the mind of Rudradeva's ally Udanachoda and joined hands with the king of Palavasa. But this conspiracy was sensed by Rudradeva. Immediately, Rudradeva alerted his military leader Pillalamarri Bethireddy, Cheruku Bollaya and Viriyala Surana and surrounded the fort of Vardhamanapura. Bhimachoda was shocked at the retaliation of Rudradeva. Bhimachoda had no alternative but to face the armies of Rudradeva and lost everything in the war and fled into the forest of Munnanur. But the armies of Rudradeva did not give up the chase and put the forest on fire and caught hold of Bhimachoda and killed him. Terrified by the valor of Rudradeva,